Let's now quickly cut across. On India Today here is joining Afghan envoy to Tajikistan, Zahir Aghbar. Zahir is a former ally turned critic of Ashraf Ghani. Let me quickly cut across to the man himself. Thank you very much for speaking to India Today. Now, the perception here of Ashraf Ghani after fleeing the country reportedly came to Tajikistan there. Is it really true? Did he bring with him money or cash?
تسلیت میگم به او خانواده هایی که فرزندان عزیز خود را در این کشمکش ها از دست میکنن و هر روز سرزمین افغانستان محل جنگ نیابتی دیگران شده.
I would like to pass my condolences on to the family members who lost loved ones in the war in Afghanistan, a war that isn't the war of the Afghans but a war of other countries.
با تاسف که افغانستان یک نیروی بزرگ قوای مسلح در اختیار داشت که در منطقه فکر میکنم نظیرش هم کمتر بود که توسط ایالات متحده آمریکا و ناتو در طول 20 سال پرورش یافته بود.
Even though Afghanistan had an great army force, probably one of the strongest in the region, trained by NATO and the United States of America, and grown over the past 20 years.
و هیچ منطق نظامی و منطق انسانی باور نمیکنه که به این سادگی در برابر یک نیرویی که نه توپ داشتن و نه طیاره داشتن نه سلاح ثقیله به یک بارگی ولایت ها در اختیارشان قرار بگیره و نیروهای نظامی افغانستان شکست بکنه.
There is no logic that will ever accept the fact that this army force lost the battle to a group that wasn't heavily equipped or neither well trained.
با تاسف که دکتر اشرف غنی یک خشونت ملی را مرتکب شد بدون تقابل قوی جنگی افغانستان را تسلیم طالبان.
It is very unfortunate that Ghani had, without putting up a fight, had surrendered Afghanistan to the Taliban.
و باور ما است که او به حقیقت است که دکتر اشرف غنی به اساس یک پلان تنظیم شده قبلی این فرار انجام داد.
And our belief is, and it's a fact that every event that took place, and with including Ghani fleeing the country, it was something that was pre-planned.
دکتر اشرف غنی هیچ وقت به طرف تاجیکستان تیارش دست نکرده و این مطرح هم نساخته.
Ghani had never come to Tajikistan and his plane never landed here, and this was never brought to anyone's attention.
بلکه به اساس همون پلان تنظیم شده بعد از گذشت 2 روز سرگردن دکتر اشرف غنی از ابوظبی برآمد.
And with the plan that they made after 2-3 days, it was confirmed. He confirmed that he was in Abu Dhabi.
Right, Mr. Zahir Aghbar, are you still the Afghanistan envoy to Tajikistan? And why did you really remove Ashraf Ghani's portrait and put up that of Saleh?
باور دارم که دنیا به اساس قانون بین المللی استوار است.
I believe that the world stands and abides by international laws.
و هر کشور قوانین خود را داره و با قوانین خود احترام داره.
And every country has their own law and they respect and abide by it.
مطابق با ماده 60 و 67 قانون اساسی افغانستان اگر رئیس جمهور فرار میکنه یا به مریضی صعب العلاج مبتلا میشه یا مفقود میشه معاون اول از او مسئولیت کشور به دست میگیره.
And in accordance to the Constitution, Articles 60 and 67, and regards to the passing of a president, the fleeing of the president of the country, or the resignation of the president, the first vice president takes control of the office as caretaker, an acting president.
حرکت ما کاملا قانونی بوده و بیرق افغانستان در ملل متحد در اعتزاز است و تمام نمایندگی افغانستان فعلا زیر پرچم سه‌رنگ افغانستان اجرای وظیفه میکنه.
And what we did was totally constitutionally legal, and our flags are still raised up high at the UN and in every other embassy across the world that Afghanistan has, and our flag, our three-colored flag, is raised up high.
در این شکی نیست که طالبان بیشتر خاک افغانستان را فعلا در اختیار خود دارند، ولی مشروعیت تا فعلا در سازمان ملل متحد با ما هست.
It is without a doubt that the Taliban currently have more control over Afghanistan's land, but by the international community, we have the legitimacy of the government with us.
و همچنان تابال طالبا حکومت خود را هم اعلان نکردن و هیچ کشوری هم تابال اونا را به رسمیت نشناختن.
And the Taliban have not declared their own government yet, and the international community does not recognize them as a legitimate government as well.
All right, the international community there does not recognize Taliban as a legit government as yet. But how do you see the Taliban and the new rulers of Afghanistan here after their complete capture?
من فکر میکنم که جنگ افغانستان جنگ بین افغانان است.
I believe that the war in Afghanistan isn't the war between Afghans.
یک گوشش جنگ نیابتی دیگران است.
A part of it is the war of other countries taking place in Afghanistan.
گوشه دیگه جنگ قدرت هاست.
And the other part is the battle of the superpowers.
اگر لیست سیاه را ایجاد کرده جامعه بین المللی ایجاد کرده.
If the world's wanted list and blacklist was created, it was created by the international community.
اگر لیست سفید هم ایجاد کرده جامعه بین المللی ایجاد کرده.
If they created the white list for people, it was also created by the international community.
در طول 20 سال جامعه بین المللی هم در افغانستان تلفات داده ولی فرزندان افغانستان هم در پالی نیروهای ناتو و امریکایی کشته شده.
Yes, that in the past 20 years, unfortunately, there has been sacrifices made by the international community, and they have had soldiers that were killed in the battle. But we also had a lot of Afghans killed in the process alongside those foreign troops.
نتیجه جنگ همیست که باید ما به طرف صلح بریم.
The outcome of the war is that we should head towards peace.
با تاسف که حرکت دکتر اشرف غنی پروسه صلح هم صدمه زد.
But unfortunately, the actions of Ghani have destroyed the peace process.
آرزومند هستم که طالبا بدانند که افغانستان 20 سال قبل نیست.
And I hope that the Taliban understand that the Afghanistan now isn't the Afghanistan of 20 years ago.
و بدون مشارکت تمام اقوام افغانستان حکومت کردن به هر کس مشکل است.
And without the including every single ethnicity in Afghanistan in the government, it will be difficult for anyone to govern Afghanistan.
من امیدوار هستم با صحبتایی که طالبان دارن که یک نظام همه شمول را ایجاد میکنن و این نظام ایجاد شود ما به طرف صلح بریم.
I hope that by the words that the Taliban speak, that they want an inclusive government, that these words are put into action, and we head towards peace.
دیروز خلیل حقانی در حالی که قبلا بالای 5 میلیون دلار جایزه گذاشته شده بود.
Yesterday, Khalil Haqqani, who has a $5 million bounty on his head by the CIA,
که من از حقانی تشکری میکنم که مسعود به عنوان قهرمان ملی افغانستان دیروز خطاب کرد.
I want to thank Haqqani for referring to our late commander, our national hero, Ahmad Shah Massoud, as the national hero of Afghanistan.
آرزومند هستم که این حرفشان در عمل هم چیزی باشه.
I hope that these words that they're putting out is also put into action.
Right, Mrs. Zahir Aghbar, are you with Saleh, who is meeting the Panjshir resistance run by the son of Ahmad Shah Massoud? Are you with him? Do you support him?
من از افغانستان حمایت میکنم، از قانون اساسی افغانستان حمایت میکنم و فعلا که امرالله صالح به عنوان جانشین جمهور است من از او حمایت میکنم.
I support Afghanistan, people of Afghanistan, the constitution of Afghanistan, and currently that Mr. Saleh is the acting president of Afghanistan, I will also support him.
من از اونها تشکر میکنم که در یک منطقه خاص امانی عنوان و موقع کردن و زمام کشور به دست گرفتن که تا فروپاشی بیشتر در داخل نظام قانونی افغانستان ایجاد نشه.
And I want to thank him for taking action in a very crucial time in history and taking the responsibility of caretaker and acting president of Afghanistan and trying to maintain the further destruction of the government.
یک چیز را باید اعتراف کنیم که به سر قهرمان ملی افغانستان در حالی که نه وزیر بود، نه ژنرال بود، نه کدام سمت حکومتی داشت ولی 4 ماه قبل نسبت به ما سیاستمداران، نسبت به ما مسئولین، نسبت به رهبری حکومت افغانستان بیشتر درک کرده بود که ما با یک خطری روبرو هستیم.
We should put forth that even though Ahmad Massoud, the son of our late commander Ahmad Shah Massoud, did not have any governmental positions 4 months prior to these events taking place, he knew much better than us politicians and government officials about what's going on in the country.
احمد مسعود هم مانند پدر خود اعتقادش به صلح و حضور تمام اقوام در یک نظام فراگیر است.
Ahmad Massoud, just like his father, his belief is to have peace, an inclusive peace between all the ethnicities and the people of Afghanistan.
کسانی که در پنجشیر حضور دارند اونا به خاطر تعرض بالای کسی مسلح نیستند.
The people who are armed in Panjshir aren't armed to attack anyone.
بلکه اونا از عزت و آبروی خود میخواهند دفاع بکنن. در صورتی که کسی سرشان تعرض بکنه مسلما جنگ میکنن.
But they are armed to defend their honor and their rights if attacked by anyone.
ما امیدوار هستم که پنجشیر به عنوان زون امنیتی اعلان شود.
I hope that Panjshir is announced as a secure zone.
و مذاکرات در این رابطه ادامه پیدا کنه.
And that the negotiations take place further from now.
و اشتباهات گذشته تکرار نشه که این اشتباهات سبب وسیع شدن دامنه جنگ در سراسر افغانستان میشه.
And I hope that the mistakes that we made are not repeated, because these mistakes will be the cause of another war in the country.
Right, Mr. Zakir, all fingers have been pointed at the United States. Do you also believe, does Tajikistan believe that it was Americans' hasty action that really led to this chaotic takeover of Kabul and the rest of Afghanistan? Or do you believe that Afghan politicians also have a big role to play and blame to take?
من تشکر میکنم از مردم امریکا و جامعه جهانی که مردم افغانستان را کمک کردن و پول مالیات خود را به خاطر مردم افغانستان فرستادن.
I want to thank the United States of America and its people and the international community for spending their taxpayers' money across Afghanistan.
ما نباید همه چیز سر جامعه بین المللی پرتیم.
We should not blame everything on the international community.
رهبری ضعیف سیاسی در افغانستان،
the poor leadership in Afghanistan,
یکتازی اشرف غنی،
the actions committed by Ghani,
و بی‌تفاوتیشان در برابر قوای مسلح افغانستان،
and actions that they committed in the army force of Afghanistan,
و اردو و نظام را شخصی ساختن،
and turning everything into a private organization in the government.
بسیار با صراحت گفته میتونیم که در تمام قانون اساسی افغانستان دکتر اشرف غنی تنها بیرقی که در اعتزاز بوده همون رو تطبیق کرده، دیگه تمامش نقض کرده.
We can say very confidently that the only law that Ghani abided by was keeping the Afghan flag raised. Aside from that, every single law in the constitution was broken by him.
ولی با تاسف که اشتباهات اشرف غنی و بی‌تفاوتی جامعه جهانی بعد از گذشت 20 سال در برابر مردم افغانستان امروز تاوانش مردم افغانستان میته و مردم افغانستان در خون غلطیده.
But unfortunately, the poor leadership conducted by Ghani and the people close to him, the outcome is what we see now, and which has affected the lives of millions of our people.
Right. Now, what role do you say that of the international community? How can they really play a role, and India as well, in the future of anti-Taliban resistance and that of Afghanistan?
ما پیشترم تکرار کردم که اگر افغانستان به طرف صلح میره مسلماً دنیام آرامش می داشته باشه.
I've mentioned this before that if Afghanistan heads to peace, the world will also be comfortable from it.
اگر در افغانستان مواد مخدر باشه، قاچاق انسان باشه، نقض حقوق بشر باشه و بالاخره حضور تروریست‌های جهانی به یک مرکز مطمئن افغانستان برش تبدیل شود به تمام جهان خطرناک است.
If there is drug trafficking, human trafficking, and violations of human rights in Afghanistan, or a safe haven for international terrorists, This will also be a threat for the region and the international community.
نقش همسایه‌ها و کشورهای منطقه و جهان در این راستا کاملا معین است. امیدوار هستم که مردم افغانستان را همکاری و کمک بکنند.
The role that our neighbors play, the role that the regional countries play, the role that the international community plays is very beneficial for the people of Afghanistan.
کشور هندوستان یک کشور دوست و بسیار خوبی افغانستان است که در طول تاریخ یک مناسبات نیک داشتند.
India has been a great friend of Afghanistan, and throughout the course of history, we have seen that there has been a great partnership between the two nations.
همسایه‌هایی که در پهلوی افغانستان قرار دارند، در حالی که میلیون‌ها مهاجر ما فعلا در کشورهای همسایه قرار دارند، که ما از مردمان همسایگان از مردمان شخصار قدردانی و سپاسگزاری می‌کنیم.
Even though our neighboring countries host millions of our refugees, and to those neighboring countries that do, we are deeply thankful for them.
به هیچ شک نیست که مردم از او آرامش می‌خواهند و صلح در افغانستان می‌خواهند.
There is no doubt that the people of those neighboring countries also want peace and stability.
ولی یک تعداد بسیار اندکی هستند که می‌خواهند جنگ را در افغانستان شعله‌ور بسازند و حمایت بکنند از نیروهای نیابتی خود.
But there is a very small portion of them, unfortunately, that want to fuel the flames of the fight burning and taking place in Afghanistan.
امیدوار هستم که جنگ هرازی در افغانستان خاتمه بیافته و جنگ اقتصادی آغاز شود.
I hope that this war that we have in Afghanistan ends and we can turn this to an economical battle.
که جنگ اقتصادی یک رقابت اقتصادی باشه.
And that this economic battle will be a competition between the nations.
Right, we're all hoping that this turmoil ends in Afghanistan at the earliest. Nonetheless, we'd like to ask you, unless there is resistance against the Taliban, doesn't seem like things would change. Is there any roadmap for an indigenous anti-Taliban military action led by the Afghans themselves? Do you see that happening?
اما باور دارم که تمام چیز فعلا با طالبان ارتباط میگیره.
I believe that everything is related to the Taliban right now.
تو فعلا در میدان طالبان
The
هست.
ball is in their field.
واقعا اینا به خاطر اخراج کردن خارجی‌ها و آمریکایی‌ها مبارزه کرده بودن.
Did they actually fight back because they wanted the withdrawal of foreign troops?
واقعا اینا میخواین که یک نظامی برای مردم افغانستان داشته باشن.
Do they really want to create a government for the people of Afghanistan?
آیا قوانین بشری و قوانین مدنی را رعایت میکنن که تا مردم افغانستان در اقصا زندگی بکنن؟
Will they respect people's rights and human rights for people to live safely in Afghanistan?
من فکر میکنم اگر تمام این معیارها را رعایت بکنن، باور دارم که همگی در یک فضای صلح زندگی میکنن. در غیر آن هیچ کس حاضر نیست که در زندان زندگی بکنه.
I believe that if they respect all these things that were mentioned, we will be able to live in peace. But if not, we cannot live under the same roof with the Taliban.
به مو شکلی که دیروز 4 ولسوالی از پیش طالبان گرفته شد، این مقاومت ها در سراسر افغانستان به وجود میاد.
Just like there was 4 districts taken out of the hands of the Taliban yesterday, if these actions by the Taliban continue, this resistance will take place across the whole country.
Right, Mr. Zahir Aghbar, we do know that Taliban has got immense support from Pakistan. What role do you believe and see of Pakistan here in destabilizing Afghanistan entirely through its proxies within the Taliban itself?
فعلا 2 میلیون، بالاتر از 2 میلیون افغان در پاکستان زندگی میکنند.
Currently, there are over 2 million Afghans that are living in Pakistan.
و به هیچ صورت مردم افغانستان محبت مردم پاکستان را فراموش نمیکنند.
The people of Afghanistan will never forget the love and compassion that the people of Pakistan show towards them.
ولی را هم فراموش نمیکنه که انفجار و انتحار را تعلیم و تربیت دادن.
They also will not forget that they train people with suicide bets to come and kill people in Afghanistan.
من امیدوار هستم که فشارهای مردم پاکستان بالای یک تعداد اشخاص افرادی که مناسبات این کشور بر هم میزنه و تا این سطح رساندیش این مناسبات بهتر شود و خوبتر شود.
I hope that the people of Pakistan put pressure on those in Pakistan that are trying to impact this friendship in a negative way for us to be peaceful neighbors.
این همسایه‌داری را ما به هیچ صورت نمیتونه که سیاستمدارا این سرحدات را جدا بسازن و از بین ببرن، بلکه این یک سرحد خداداد است بین ملت‌ها و مردم‌های دو کشور.
This is a God-given border for us, that we are neighbors, and politicians and people cannot destroy this.
Now, of course, we do know the kind of support that they receive from Pakistan. We know the kind of capabilities of the Taliban to unleash terror. Now, does the Taliban and Pakistan coming together here as a unit pose a threat in terms of terrorism?
ما فکر میکنم که دهشت افغانی، تروریستی، حرکات تروریستی در هر جایی که صورت بگیره، در هر جایی که پرورش بیافته، او به ضد جامعه انسانی هست.
I think that actions of terror committed anywhere around the world is against humanity.
ما توقع باهی است چی به شکل مستقیم چی به شکل غیر مستقیم کسانی که جامعه انسانی را تهدید میکنه و انسانها را نابود میکنه در برابر او همگی دست با دست هم بتیم مبارزه کنیم.
We are stating that anyone trying to ruin peace and commit violent actions against others, that we all join hands together and stand up against them.
بخصوص به فرزندان ما یک تاریخ مثبت را ایجاد بکنیم که در آینده ها خوبتر زندگی بتانند در همسایگی.
Especially that we can provide a safe haven for our children to be able to live in peace with our neighboring countries.
و یاد بگیریم از اروپا که سالهای متمادی در بین خود جنگ کردن، میلیون‌ها انسان کشته شدند، ولی امروز به عنوان یک جامعه انسانی اتحادیه اروپا را ایجاد کردن، حتی در بینشان مرزها وجود ندارد.
That we can live like the European Union, that they were in a battle for years and millions of people had died, but at the end there was peace and stability amongst them, and they created the European Union, and there is no borders that separate the countries from one another.
امیدوار هستم که در منطقه ما همین استعداد و این توان را پیدا بکنیم که همین شرایط و خوبی ها را به ملت های خود ایجاد بکنیم.
I hope that we can find this in our countries as well, that we can provide the same thing that the European Union did for their countries, and we can provide this for our region as well.
Well, we hope that Afghans in Afghanistan now are safe in the hands of Taliban. Of course, it's very hard to digest their promises of peaceful governance, but women there, that's our focus. Several women have spoken out against the Taliban. They say that they fear for their lives. What do you have to say about that?
قبلا هم تذکر دادم که تجربه تلخ 20 سال قبل طالبان نباید تکرار بکنند.
I've mentioned prior to this that the Taliban should not recreate the bad history that we've had in the past.
20 سال قبل تا امروز بسیار تفاوت کرده.
20 years ago was a big difference than what it is today.
امروز مردم افغانستان در سراسر افغانستان با یک فکر دیگه، با یک دید دیگه، با یک توان دیگه فعلا حضور دارند.
Today the people in Afghanistan stand differently, are much more different people than they were 20 years ago.
و به هیچ صورت مردم افغانستان این حرکت‌ها را نسبت به گپ‌های قومی نمیدن.
And the people of Afghanistan will not put distinctions on it and try to separate themselves due to ethnicity and tribe.
و امروز اگر برخورد خشن صورت میگیره بیشترش فعلا در مناطقی هست که از همون مناطق خود طالب‌ها سر برداشتند.
And the violence created in certain regions of the country are in those regions that the Taliban are from.
من برخورد خانم‌ها را در صفحات مجازی دیدم.
I've seen the actions committed by women on social media.
و حمایت زنان را من تقدیر میکنم.
And I applaud their bravery.
Right, Mr. Zahir Aghbar, thank you very much for speaking to India Today, taking time out during these uncertain times. I hope you're safe and your people are safe. That was Zahir Aghbar, who was a former ally of Ashraf Ghani, who's now separated from that unit and, of course, wanting for safety of people of Afghanistan, says that he'll fight back. For more on that, you could log on to indiatoday.in. You could also download our app for more. Stay tuned. World Today on the other side.